Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Did you know that some of the steel pennies in your pocket change could be worth a fortune? Today, we're diving into the top high-value steel pennies and quarter-dollar coins that could be worth millions of dollars. Stick around to see if you have one of these rare coins hiding in your collection. First up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny without a mint mark, in good condition. This coin is not only a remarkable piece of history, but also one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world of numismatics. Stick around to find out how much this steel penny is worth in today's market. The story of the 1943 Lincoln steel penny is as unique as the coin itself. During World War II, copper, which was the main material for pennies, was desperately needed for the war effort to produce ammunition and other essential supplies. To conserve copper, the US Mint experimented with using steel coated with zinc to produce pennies for just 1 year, 1943. That's why these pennies have a distinct silvery appearance, unlike the traditional copper pennies we're used to seeing. These steel pennies were only minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and they quickly became a unique piece of American history. Now, let's talk about how to identify the 1943 steel penny without a mint mark. First, check the coin's date. It should clearly read 1943. The absence of a mint mark below the date indicates that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. The coin is made of steel and has a thin zinc coating, giving it that bright, silvery finish when it's new. In good condition, you'll notice signs of wear, like slight discoloration or light scratches, but the details of Abraham Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears on the reverse are still visible. Now the big questions. How much is the 1943 steel penny without a mint mark worth in today's market if it's in good condition? In good condition, the 1943 steel penny is typically worth $32 to $3,500. While it's not the rarest or most valuable coin on its own, it's still a piece of history that holds significant appeal to collectors. However, coins in better conditions or with specific errors can fetch much higher prices. While the regular 1943 steel penny is widely available, certain rare variants and errors can skyrocket the value. For example, a small number of 1943 pennies were accidentally struck in copper instead of steel. These are among the most valuable coins in the world, selling for over $200,000 at all. Another valuable error to watch for is the double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears doubled. These error coins can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the coin's value depending on their condition. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny without a mint mark is an incredible piece of history that remains affordable for most collectors. While it's valued at around 50 cents to $2 in good condition, its unique backstory and historical significance make it a must-have for any coin enthusiast. First up today, we're going to take a look at a 1998 Washington quarter that's a bit rough around the edges. Literally, this coin is in full damage condition, yet it still holds some surprising value. How is that possible? Stick around as we dive deep into the world of damaged coins and explore why this 1998 large-date Washington quarter with P mint mark could still fetch some dollars at auction. First, let's take a good look at this coin. You can see right away that this 1998 Washington quarter has seen better days. The large date is clearly visible, and the P mint mark tells us that this quarter was minted in Philadelphia. But what stands out the most is the full damage condition. We're talking about heavy scratches, some visible corrosion, and a dull, worn look that most collectors would shy away from. Now, normally, a coin in this kind of condition would be considered almost worthless, especially for collectors looking for high-quality specimens. However, damaged coins can still have a place in the market, especially for those who are looking for affordable additions to their collections or even for investors who want to speculate on coins that are harder to find in any condition. So, what's the 1998 Washington quarter with P mint mark in full damage condition worth in today's market? Typically, this coin would fall in the lower range of values, around $1 to $3. But don't be too quick to dismiss it just because it's damaged. For one, coins like these still have the historical significance of the year they were minted and their role in. But here's the kicker. Damaged coins can sometimes sell for more than expected, depending on the auction or the collector's interests. For instance, there's always a demand for Washington quarters, and some collectors will buy even damaged versions because they need to complete their sets. Sometimes, the damage on a coin adds a unique story or a piece of character. Think of it as a coin that's lived a full life. At auction, the 1998 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in this damaged condition might actually attract a handful of bidders, especially if it's one of those rare, hard-to-find versions that might not be in circulation anymore. Even though it's been through its fair share of wear, auctions are where you might see unexpected interest from someone looking to add it to a collection, perhaps at a lower price than if it were in better condition. When compared to a pristine 1998 Washington quarter, it's easy to see why the damaged version is priced lower. A mint condition quarter from the same year could be worth upwards of $6 to $10 or more, depending on its grade. But, as we've seen time and time again in the world of numismatics, condition isn't everything. It's not always about the perfect coin. It's about what a buyer is willing to pay and what a seller is asking. Damaged coins, especially from popular series like the Washington quarters, might not fetch top dollar, but they still have intrinsic value. The P mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, and for collectors focused on acquiring all variations of the Washington quarter, even the damaged versions play a role. There's always a market for these coins, especially for those just starting their collections or looking to complete a set. It's also worth noting that the 1998 Washington quarter is part of the ongoing series of quarters featuring George Washington, making it an essential part of American coinage history. While the 1998 coin doesn't have any special errors or rare features, its P mint mark and large date make it valuable to those who are focused on mint variations. Even in full damage condition, it's still part of a broader story in the world of US coinage. And sometimes, it's that story that adds value to a coin, not just the condition. In conclusion, the 1998 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in full damage condition may not break any records, but it certainly holds value for the right collector or investor. Expect to see it sold for around $1 to $3, though the price could fluctuate depending on the auction or the collector market. So, if you come across one of these in your collection or in your pocket change, don't dismiss it right away. While it might not be the crown jewel of your collection, it still has a story to tell and could be worth more than you think. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S mint mark. But there's a twist. We're going to talk about its value in dirty condition. How much could this rare coin be worth in today's market, even with dirt and grime stick around? Because the answer might surprise you. As many of you know, the 1943 Lincoln penny is a standout in the history of US coinage. Due to World War II, copper was in short supply, and so, in a move to conserve materials, the US Mint switched to using steel to strike the penny in 1943. This led to the creation of the steel penny, which has a distinct silver-like appearance, unlike the usual copper penny. Now, this wasn't just any ordinary penny. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny came in a variety of mint marks. Today, we're focusing on the rarest of the bunch, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S mint mark, which was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The S mint mark, which signifies the coin was minted in San Francisco, adds an extra layer of rarity and collectability to this already distinctive penny. But what happens when the coin is in dirty condition? When we say dirty condition, we're referring to a coin that has seen its fair share of wear and tear and possibly some grime or tarnish built up over time. It could have dirt, fingerprints, tarnishing, or other imperfections that affect its overall. But the interesting thing here is that even in dirty condition, a 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S mint mark can still hold substantial value, though not as much as a coin in pristine condition. In dirty condition, the coin's value is primarily impacted by its physical appearance, and collectors usually look for coins with minimal damage or wear. However, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S mint mark, even with dirt and corrosion, is still considered a desirable coin for many collectors due to its historical significance and scarcity. So, what's the value of a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with an S mint mark in dirty condition? While the clean, uncirculated versions of this coin can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, a dirty example in poor condition typically has a value that ranges from $4,000 to $6,000 depending on the severity of the dirt and how much wear the coin has sustained. For example, at auction, you might find a 1943 steel penny in dirty condition with an S mint mark selling for anywhere between $7,500 and $8,400, depending on how bad the dirt and tarnish. If the dirt can be removed without damaging the coin too much, the value could slightly increase, but this is rarely a major jump. Now, it's worth noting that while some collectors may still find these coins valuable, the dirt can also deter other buyers. If you're thinking about selling a dirty 1943 Lincoln steel penny, it's often better to leave the coin as is, rather than attempting to clean it yourself. Cleaning a coin improperly can cause permanent damage, which would drastically reduce its value. If you're considering cleaning the coin, it's important to know that professionals use specific techniques to preserve the integrity of the coin. In most cases, dirt or grime should be left alone to avoid compromising its value. Some collectors might even prefer the coin in its as-found state, as it gives the coin a sense of authenticity and history. But what if you find a particularly rare or high-grade example of this penny? It's important to remember that even in dirty condition, some 1943 Lincoln steel pennies with an S mint mark can be incredibly rare, especially if they have some unique characteristic, like a doubling or error. This could increase the value significantly, but most examples are worth more for their rarity and historical context than for their appearance. Error coins, especially from the 1943 series, can be worth a lot more, even in less than perfect condition. So, keep an eye out for any unusual features, like die cracks, unusual toning, or anything that seems out of the ordinary. These types of features can be valuable, even if the coin has some dirt on it. In summary, a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with an S mint mark in dirty condition isn't going to break the bank, but it still holds value in the range of $9,500 to $10,000, depending on its wear and the extent of the dirt. If you're lucky enough to have one, or you find one in a collection, it's still worth holding on to because of its historical significance and collector demand. Next up, the 1995 Washington Quarter, a coin with a large date and the P mint mark, all in fine condition. If you're curious about the value of this coin in today's market, stick around, because this quarter is more than meets the eye. Let's take a closer look at this 1995 Washington Quarter. You'll notice the large date is distinct, and the P mint mark indicates that it was struck in Philadelphia. The condition here is fine, which means it shows moderate wear with some details still visible. The George Washington portrait on the obverse is still clear, and the eagle on the reverse is still distinguishable despite the wear from years of circulation. Now, for many collectors, fine condition means that the coin has seen its fair share of time in circulation, but it's still got life left in it. The details are not as sharp as in a coin in very fine or extremely fine condition, but it still holds historical significance. So, what's the value of a 1995 Washington Quarter with a large date and P mint mark in fine condition? In today's market, you're looking at a value in the range of $4 to $6. Now, this might seem like a modest price, but when you break it down, this coin's value comes from its historical context and the fact that it's part of the long-running Washington Quarter series. But why is it worth more than face value? First, let's take a moment to remember that the Washington Quarter series has been around since 1932, and it's been minted every year since then, except for a few special editions. That means the 1995 coin, even though it's part of a standard issue, still has its place in the lineup of classic US coins. When it comes to auction prices, you'll likely see the 1995 Washington Quarter selling for slightly above its face value, especially if it's in fine condition. While this coin isn't going to break any records like some of the more rare or error coins, it still has an appeal to collectors. Coins like this are often sought after by those who are looking to complete their collections of Washington Quarters, or even those who are after coins from specific years or mint marks. In fact, the P mint mark gives this coin a bit of a special touch. Some collectors focus on specific mint marks to create a comprehensive collection, and for them, a 1995 quarter with a P mint mark in fine condition is an essential part of the puzzle. It's also important to note that condition plays a big role in a coin's value. While fine condition quarters are great for collectors looking for more affordable options, those looking for a pristine 1995 Washington quarter might opt for one in very fine or extremely fine condition, which could fetch anywhere from $8 to $12 or more. However, the fine condition version remains a great deal for those on a budget. So, how do you preserve a coin like this? It's essential to keep it in a coin holder or a protective case to prevent any further damage. While the coin is already in fine condition, ensuring it stays that way will help maintain its value, and if you ever decide to sell it, presenting it in a good holder can make all the difference. For those looking to sell, you can expect to see the 1995 Washington quarter fetching around $4 to $6 in auctions or online marketplaces. Depending on the demand at the time and the specific interest of collectors, you might see prices that slightly fluctuate. While it's not a rare error coin or a special edition, the large date and P mint mark still give this quarter a unique spot in the marketplace. For collectors, it's always exciting to discover coins like the 1995 Washington quarter in your pocket change or during your coin hunts. You might not find this particular coin every day, but it holds value for the right person, whether it's a seasoned collector or a newcomer looking to add a well-worn piece of American coinage to their collection. So to wrap it up, the 1995 Washington quarter with a large date and P mint mark in fine condition isn't going to make you a fortune, but it's a solid find that has historical value and a steady spot in the market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, this coin remains a crucial part of the Washington Quarter series and will continue to be appreciated for its role in U.S. coinage history. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny with the D mint mark. Specifically, we're talking about its value in dirty condition. How much could this fascinating piece of history be worth in today's market? Stick around to find out. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny is a coin with a story like no other. During World War II, copper was in high demand for the war effort, so the US Mint made a dramatic change. They replaced the usual copper alloy with steel coated in zinc. This gave the 1943 penny its unique silver appearance. While millions of these coins were struck, those with the D Mint mark, produced at the Denver Mint, are especially prized by collectors. The decision to mint steel pennies was a direct response to wartime shortages, and the result was a one-year-only issue that has fascinated collectors ever since. But what makes the 1943 D Mint mark version stand out? It's the combination of rarity, historical significance, and the unique challenges posed by its steel composition. Now, when we talk about a coin in dirty condition, we mean one that shows visible signs of age, wear, and exposure to the elements. Dirt, grime, or even corrosion can obscure some of the coin's details, but this doesn't mean it has no value. For a coin like the 1943 Lincoln steel penny with the D Mint mark, its rarity and historical importance often outweigh its physical flaws. In dirty condition, a 1943 steel penny with the D Mint mark typically sells for $4,800 to $5,000, depending on the extent of the dirt, corrosion, and wear. While this might not seem like much, it's still significantly higher than its original face value, But here's the kicker: if your coin has any unusual features, like a minting error or doubling, it could be worth much more, even in dirty condition. Error coins from the 1943 series, such as doubled die varieties or coins struck on a copper planchet by mistake, have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. For example, a 1943 D steel penny with a rare error could sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its rarity and desirability among collectors. So even if your coin looks dirty or worn, it's always worth having it inspected by an expert. Never attempt to clean a coin yourself, especially if you suspect it has significant value. Cleaning can damage the coin's surface, strip away its natural patina, and reduce its value dramatically. If you want to improve its appearance, leave it to a professional coin conservationist. Over the years, the value of the 1943 Lincoln steel penny with the D mint mark has remained steady, with clean, uncirculated examples fetching significantly higher prices than dirty or damaged ones. However, even a dirty example can be a great addition to a collection due to its historical appeal. So, what's the takeaway? A 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny with the D mint mark in dirty condition might not make you rich, but it's still a valuable and fascinating piece of history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, finding one of these coins can be a rewarding experience. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark, featuring a black color shade and in dirty condition. How much could this coin be worth? Stay tuned as we break it down. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the iconic series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. This particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as it has no mint mark, and it carries all the familiar characteristics. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Now, we're not talking about just any 1948 penny. This coin has a distinctive black color shade and is in dirty condition. What does that mean for its value? Let's take a closer look at this fascinating coin and see why it may still be worth something even in less than ideal condition. When a coin like this takes on a black color shade, it's usually the result of oxidation or tarnishing over time. The coin surface can pick up grime, dirt, or even chemical reactions with the environment. As a result, the black shade is typically seen on coins that have been exposed to moisture or other elements that cause discoloration. But how does this black color shade impact the value of the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny? While many collectors may prefer their coins to retain a more natural patina or shine, coins with unusual color changes or tuning can sometimes be more interesting or sought after, depending on the buyer's preferences. In the world of coin collecting, the market for toned or darkened coins can be unpredictable. Coins with a unique but subtle black color shade might be valued slightly higher than typical dirty coins, but it depends on the extent of the color and condition. If the coin has a particularly strong or dramatic black appearance, collectors might view it as a curiosity and be willing to pay a little more for it. So how much could a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition with a black color shade be worth? In today's market, a coin like this would likely fetch between $20,000 on. It's still quite affordable, but remember, even a coin in dirty condition can hold a certain charm, especially for those who love to collect coins with unique characteristics. If the black color or tarnishing isn't too severe and the details on the coin are still visible, it could fetch a slightly higher price. But coins with a lot of dirt, corrosion, or staining typically fall on the lower end of the value scale. However, it's important to note that the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny, as a whole, isn't as rare as some other years in the series, which is why it doesn't command a particularly high price, even in dirty or toned condition. If you think about it, coin collectors are often looking for coins that are either in great condition or have unique features. Even a penny in dirty condition, with an interesting black shade, can attract the eye of a collector who loves the history behind a coin like. And of course, you never know when a buyer might find your specific coin appealing for its distinctive appearance. If you ever come across a coin like this and wonder about its true value, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded. A professional grading service will help determine the coin's true market value based on its condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics it may have. So to recap, if you have a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and it features a black color shade with a bit of dirt, you're looking at a coin worth about $40,000. It's not going to make you rich, but it still has a place in any coin collection. And if you think you have a particularly rare version of this coin or one that has other unique characteristics, it might be worth more than you'd expect. Next up, the 1989 Washington quarter with the large date and the P mint mark in fine condition. While this coin might not be as well known as others, it holds a significant spot in the world of numismatics, and its value is rising steadily in today's market. Let's take a closer look at this unique piece of American coinage and discover its value in today's market. This is the 1989 Washington quarter with the large date featuring the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse. But what really sets this coin apart is its large date and the P mint mark, which indicates it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. If you take a look at the large date feature, you'll notice the numbers are noticeably larger compared to other years of the Washington quarter series, which gives it a unique appearance. It's a subtle but significant detail that collectors look for when identifying this specific coin. Now, you may be wondering what's the difference between the large date and the small date variations. Well, in 1989, the US Mint struck both versions of the quarter, and the large date variety has become the more sought after of the two. The difference is mostly visual, but collectors place a premium on the larger date because of its rarity compared to the smaller variety. This particular coin is in fine condition, which means it's seen some circulation. The details are still legible, but you can see the wear and minor abrasions on the surface, especially around the high points like George Washington's hairline, and in fine condition, the coin still maintains its identity, and the design is clearly visible, but it's not in pristine shape. So how much is this 1989 Washington quarter worth? In fine condition, this coin generally trades for around $3 to $5 in today's market. It's not a coin that's going to make you a millionaire, but it still holds a special place in many collections. For a collector, the appeal lies in the large date variety and the P mint mark, which adds some rarity to the piece. However, if you manage to find this coin in higher grades, say extra fine or ungraded, the value can rise significantly. In those grades, it could sell for as much as $10 to $20, especially if it's well preserved and free from heavy marks or abrasions. At an auction, this coin could fetch a bit more than its usual market value, depending on the demand. If multiple collectors are after it, you could see bids push the value upwards. Coins like this are often sold at coin shows or online auctions, where collectors come together to find unique pieces to add to their collections. If you're looking to keep your 1989 Washington quarter in excellent condition, it's important to store it properly. Using a protective coin holder or slab helps prevent further wear and tear, keeping the coin in the best possible condition. Not only will it protect the coin from dirt and scratches, but it also preserves the value of your investment. For collectors looking to complete a Washington quarter set, the 1989 large date is a must-have. It adds variety and character to the collection, and because of its unique large date and mint mark features, it's one. Whether you're just getting started or you've been collecting for years, this 1989 quarter is a great addition. Next up, we're diving into the world of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, specifically the one with no mint mark, and we're going to explore its value in fine condition with a unique color shade. Could this coin be one of the most expensive 1944 pennies on the market today? Stick around to find out. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is a highly regarded coin in the numismatic world. Struck during World War II, it holds historical significance. This penny features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse side showcases two stalks of wheat, representing the importance of agriculture in America at the time. The lack of a mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, making it a more common variety of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. Now, we're talking about a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition, and that's important when determining value. A coin in fine condition is one where most of the major details are still visible, but some wear is noticeable. The coin may show signs of circulation, like slight smoothing of the features, but it's still well preserved overall. But this isn't just any 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. This one has a unique color shade, which can be due to natural toning, environmental exposure, or just how the coin has aged over the years. Some color shades can range from subtle golden hues to darker, more vibrant tones. These shades can make a coin stand out in a collection, and some collectors are willing to pay a premium for those rare and beautiful colorations. So, how much is a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, in fine condition and featuring a unique color shade, worth in today's market? Let's take a closer look at its value. In today's market, A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition without a mint mark generally has a value between 260 cents and $300. But the key here is the color shade. If this particular penny has a striking, well-preserved color or tone, it could potentially push its value higher. Rare tuning can sometimes add an extra $1 or $2 to the price, especially if the coloration is appealing to collectors. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this color shade influence the price? Well, it all comes down to demand and rarity. Some collectors are drawn to coins with unique, vibrant color patterns, while others may prefer coins in a more natural state. Depending on how intense the color shade is, a fine condition 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with a unique tone could fetch anywhere from $385 to $400, or in some rare cases, even more. If you're considering selling or buying one of these coins, it's always best to get it professionally graded. The grading process will give you an exact understanding of the coin's condition, its toning, and its market value. A professional grader will assess factors like the overall wear color quality and any special characteristics that could affect its worth. So, to sum it all up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, without mint mark in fine condition with a unique color shade, is worth around $4.50 to $500, but if the color shade is especially rare or eye-catching, it could go for $5 to $8 or more. It's a relatively affordable coin, but it's still highly collectible and has a special place in the hearts of those building their Lincoln wheat penny collections. Next up, the 1984 Washington quarter with a large date and P mint mark, specifically in very fine condition. While it may not be the most talked about coin in the world of numismatics, it certainly deserves its moment in the spotlight. Stick around as we dive into the value of this coin in today's market and discover why it might just be worth more than you think. First off, let's take a closer look at this particular 1984 Washington quarter. The large date is easy to spot, and it's a feature that stands out among other quarters from the same year. As for the P mint mark, that tells us this coin was struck in Philadelphia. The obverse side features George Washington, and the reverse shows the familiar eagle perched with its wings. The condition we're talking about here is very fine, which means the coin has seen some circulation, but the details are still quite sharp. You'll notice some wear on the high points, but the Washington portrait remains clear and bold, and the eagle is still easily identifiable. It's a beautiful example of how a coin can retain its character even after years of being in circulation. For those new to coin collecting, the very fine condition refers to a coin that has visible wear but still retains much of its original detail. There's a slight loss of definition on the high parts of the design, like Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, but it's still in great shape compared to more worn-down examples. When it comes to value, a 1984 Washington quarter in very fine condition isn't going to break the bank, but it still commands more than just face value. In fact, in today's market, you can expect this coin to sell for around $4 to $6, a decent return on your investment if you come across one in your collection. But you might be asking, why does it command this price, despite being a relatively common coin? Let's take a moment to discuss why collectors are willing to pay a premium for this specific quarter. The 1984 Washington quarter is a part of the long-running Washington quarter series that began in 1932 and continues to this day. While this particular year isn't known for any major errors or rare variations, collectors still seek out coins like this one because it's a well-preserved piece of American history. And here's the key. Coins in fine or very fine condition are always in demand because they provide a balance between being affordable and still showing a significant amount of detail. For collectors looking to fill out their Washington quarter collections or add a high-quality example from the 1980s, a 1984 large date with P mint mark coin in very fine condition is a perfect fit. At an auction, this coin would likely be sold for a bit more, especially if the demand is high. Auction prices can fluctuate depending on the current market, but you can generally expect this coin to fetch somewhere between $4 and $8, a small but steady value for a coin that's not exactly rare but still holds appeal for collectors. If you're looking to buy or sell one of these coins, online marketplaces like eBay or heritage auctions are great places to start. Prices will depend on the specific coin's condition, and how much interest there is at the time of sale, but for most very fine examples, you can expect to get a price close to that $4 to $6 range. If it's in particularly great very fine condition, or if there's any additional history attached, it could push the price even higher. Of course, if you're holding on to one of these quarters in your collection, proper care is essential. To preserve the very fine condition and protect its value, you should store it in a coin holder or a protective case. This will help prevent any further wear or damage, ensuring it stays in great shape for years to come. For collectors who are just starting out or looking to add an affordable, historically significant coin to their collection, the 1984 Washington quarter with the large date and P mint mark in very fine condition is an excellent choice. It's a coin that's accessible yet offers the potential for future value appreciation, especially if the Washington quarter series becomes more sought after as time goes on. In conclusion, the 1984 Washington quarter with the large date and P mint mark in very fine condition may not be the highest priced coin in the market today, but it's still a valuable piece of American coinage. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned pro, this coin is a solid addition to any collection. And who knows, its value might increase over time, especially if demand for these classic quarters continues to grow. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in extra fine condition. How much is this coin worth in today's market? Could it be one of the most expensive 1950 Lincoln Wheat pennies out there? Stick around as we break down the details and uncover its value. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny is part of a series that ran from 1909 to 1958. These pennies are highly collectible, and even though 1950 is not one of the rarest years, there are still some aspects of this particular coin that could make it stand out. The S mint mark means this penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which is always an important detail when determining a coin's rarity and value. Now, we're not just talking about any 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny. This coin is in extra fine condition. What does that mean? Coins in extra fine condition show only minimal wear, and most of the coin's design details are still sharp, and for a coin to be in extra fine condition, it should still have strong details, but may show light wear from circulation. Take a look at this 1950 penny. Notice how the details of Lincoln's portrait are still clearly defined, and the wheat stalks on the reverse are sharp and easily recognizable. Extra fine condition coins often retain a high level of detail, which increases their overall appeal to collectors. So how much could a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in extra fine condition be worth? In today's market, coins like these typically range in value, but with the S mint mark and extra fine condition, it's definitely worth more than a standard, worn-out penny. Let's dive into the numbers. On average, a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny in extra fine condition can be worth around $220 to $300. But the value doesn't stop. Since this coin features the S mint mark, it might attract a premium from collectors who focus on San Francisco minted coins, making it more desirable and slightly more expensive than other pennies from the same year. The price can vary depending on factors like the coin's exact condition and its demand at the time. For an extra fine condition 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny with an S mint mark, collectors might be willing to pay $380 to $400 or more in some cases, especially if the coin has been well preserved and is free from any damage or imperfections. The key to determining the value of a coin like this is its grade. Professional coin grading services, such as PCGs or NGC, can assess the exact condition of your coin. When a coin is graded as extra fine, it typically means the coin has only minor signs of wear and it retains much of its original detail. The higher the grade, the more the coin is worth. In summary, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in extra fine condition is worth about $540 to $600 on average, with the potential to reach $1,000 to $1,200 if it's in particularly great shape or in high demand. As always, factors like tuning, scarcity, and any unique characteristics can affect its value. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny featuring the D mint mark. But here's the twist. It's in dirty condition. This may not be the most pristine coin in the world, But does it still hold any significant value in today's market? Stick around as we break down everything you need to know about this particular penny and its potential worth. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of a series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. And while 1952 isn't considered a key date in the series, it still holds a place in the hearts of collectors. This particular penny has the D Mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, and like many of its counterparts, it's made from 95 copper with the signature wheat stalks on the reverse side. A coin in dirty condition usually means it's been exposed to the elements or hasn't been properly cared for over the years. Dirty coins can show dirt, grime, corrosion, or tarnish that significantly impacts their visual appeal. While the dirt might make the coin less attractive, collectors still take into account other factors like mint mark, rarity, and potential for cleaning through coins is generally not recommended. Despite the dirty condition, the D Mint mark is still important to collectors. The 1952 Denver minted penny isn't one of the rarer varieties in the Lincoln Wheat series, but it is still valuable for collectors who focus on obtaining a complete collection of pennies from different mints. So, what does this coin in dirty condition actually bring in today's market? Well, typically, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny in dirty condition is worth less than a clean or well-preserved example. But don't be fooled, this doesn't mean it's worth. Let's break down the estimated value. On average, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny with D Mint mark in dirty condition could be worth around 100 cents to $120, depending on the level of dirt and tarnish. The dirt will usually detract from the coin's value, as it can hide the true details of the design, but it still holds value due to its age and the D Mint mark. However, if the coin was properly cleaned or restored, its value could potentially increase, but it's important to note that cleaning a coin can sometimes lower its value further due to the risk of damaging the surface. While a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny in dirty condition is not going to break the bank, it's still an affordable and interesting piece for collectors. Its value might not reach the high figures of rarer coins, but it still holds sentimental and historical value. It's a piece of America's history, and as with all collectibles, some collectors find it more valuable than others depending on their goals for their collection. If you're looking to get a more accurate value for your 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded. Grading services will examine the coin's condition, age, and specific characteristics, including any damage or wear, and provide a precise valuation. So, what's the final word on the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny with D Mint mark in dirty condition? You can expect it to be worth around $1.50 to $200 in its current state, but it's not a lost cause. With the right cleaning or restoration, the value could rise, but always be cautious when considering cleaning. Next up, the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark holds some fascinating potential in today's market. While this particular coin might seem like a simple piece of US currency, its value in good condition is far from ordinary. Let's dive into what makes this coin unique and what it's worth in today's market. This is a 1965 Washington quarter, and if you're familiar with US coinage, you might notice something a little different right off the bat: the absence of a mint mark. Coins from this era were struck at multiple mints across the United States, but not all coins carry a mint mark, and this particular quarter was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1965 quarter is also significant because it was the first year that the US government stopped using 90 silver in quarters. Instead, this coin is made of a cupronickel-clad composition. That's right, while earlier quarters were made of nearly pure silver, this quarter was made with a mixture of copper and nickel, a major change in US coinage history. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. It's graded as good condition, which means this coin has seen its fair share of circulation. If you look closely, you'll notice that the details are quite worn, especially around the high points. Washington's hairline and the eagle's feathers are not as sharp as they once were, but the general outline and key features of the coin remain visible. Coins in good condition typically show signs of wear, but still retain their identity and readability. For a 1965 Washington quarter, This is an important detail. If you're just starting out as a coin collector or you're looking to add some diversity to your collection, this good condition 1965 quarter might just be what you need. So what's the value of this coin? While the 1965 Washington quarter may not be as rare as some other coins, it does hold some value for collectors, particularly those looking to complete sets or add coins with historical significance. In good condition, a 1965 Washington quarter is typically worth around $10 to $15 in today's market. While it's not a fortune, it's still a nice little piece of American history, and given that it's a part of a significant change in US coinage transitioning from silver to clad, it has a place in the hearts of many collectors. At an auction, this coin could fetch anywhere from $18 to $25, depending on the exact condition and demand at the time. Auctions are a great way to find unique buyers who are specifically looking for coins like this, and if you're lucky, you might be able to sell it for a bit more if the bidding gets competitive. It's worth noting that while the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark isn't the highest valued quarter in the Washington series, it still holds its own in the world of coin collecting. It's a coin that bridges two significant eras before and after the shift from silver to clad quarters, and for many collectors, that's a story worth preserving. Taking care of this coin is just as important as understanding its value. If you plan on keeping your 1965 Washington quarter in your collection, consider using a coin holder or protective case to ensure its condition doesn't deteriorate. Proper storage helps preserve the coin's surface and prevents additional damage, which can affect its value. For collectors who are looking to fill out their Washington quarter collection, this coin is a great option. It's widely available, and while it may not fetch the high prices of rare coins, it's still a fantastic addition for those interested in collecting coins from all decades of the 20th century. Whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your collection, don't overlook the 1965 Washington. To wrap up, the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark in good condition may not be the most exciting or rare coin in the market, but it's still valuable in its own right. Its historical significance, coupled with its place in the Washington quarter series, makes it a desirable coin for collectors and a great investment for those looking to build a comprehensive collection. In today's market, expect to see it selling for anywhere between $35 and $44, with auction prices occasionally reaching higher values. Next up, the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D-mint mark in very fine condition. But the big question is, how much could it be worth in today's market? Stay tuned as we dive into its history, condition, and estimated value. The 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny is part of a series that was minted from 1909 to 1958. The 1938 penny is not one of the rarest years, but it's still a key part of any Lincoln Wheat penny collection. With the D mint mark, this penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and like all Lincoln pennies, it features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse. But the real focus here is the coin's condition. This is a very fine example. Let's take a closer look at what that means and why it impacts the coin's value. Coins in very fine condition have a high level of detail with only minor signs of wear. On the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny, that means Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse are still clearly defined, but you may notice some light wear on the high points, like Lincoln's cheek or the tops of the wheat stalks. In very fine condition, the coin will have minimal to no scratches or damage, and all key design elements will be visible and intact. This level of quality is important when determining a coin's value, and the 1938 D penny is no exception. Here's a closer look at the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny. Notice how sharp the details are, even with some signs of wear. The D mint mark is located just to the right of Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse side. This mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which adds a layer of interest for collectors who focus on mint mark varieties. So, how much could a 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark in very fine condition be worth in today's market? Let's dive into the value. In today's market, the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny with a D mint mark in very fine condition typically ranges in value from about $150 to $186. While it's not a super rare coin, the very fine condition and the D mint mark make it a bit more desirable compared to pennies that are in worse condition or have no mint mark. If you happen to find a 1938 D penny that's in even better condition than very fine, let's say extra fine or higher, the value could rise to around $200 or more. That said, the 1938 D penny in very fine condition still holds solid value, especially if you're looking to complete a set or invest in a high-quality piece. When evaluating any coin's value, it's crucial to look at its grade. The 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark is a relatively common coin, but its value is heavily impacted by its condition. Coins graded as very fine have more definition and detail compared to coins with more wear or damage, which directly affects its market value. To sum up, the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark in very fine condition typically sells for around $290 to $300, but its value could be higher if it's graded extra fine or better. While it might not be the most expensive penny out there, it's still a great addition to any collection, especially if you're focusing on mint mark varieties. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1938 Lincoln Wheat penny, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin collecting tips. Next up, the 1991 Washington quarter with the large date and D mint mark. And we're going to take a look at its value in extra fine condition in today's market. The 1991 Washington quarter may not be as flashy as some of its counterparts, but there's something special about it that collectors are starting to notice. If you're lucky enough to have one of these quarters in your collection, especially in extra fine condition, you could have a valuable piece on your hands. Let's dive into the details and see what makes this coin so sought. First, let's talk about the large date variation. In 1991, the US Mint struck both large and small date versions of the Washington quarter, and the large date variety stands out as a favorite among collectors. The difference: it's in the size of the numbers used for the year. The large date variation features noticeably larger digits, giving it a distinct look compared to the small date. This subtle feature makes the large date quarters a prized find for many collectors. On the obverse, we see the familiar image of George Washington, while the reverse displays the bold eagle design. The D mint mark on this coin indicates it was minted at the Denver Mint. It's important to note that the D mint mark quarters from 1991 are typically more common, but the large date feature adds a level of rarity that collectors value. Now, let's talk about condition. This 1991 Washington quarter is in extra fine condition, meaning that it's seen some circulation, but the details are still sharp. You'll notice light wear, especially on the high points of the design, but it still maintains a lot of its original luster. The portrait of Washington is clear, and the eagle's feathers are still defined. It's a coin that has been well cared for, and in this condition, it holds significant value in the marketplace. So, how much is this 1991 Washington quarter worth in extra fine condition? This coin typically sells for around $5 to $7 in today's market. While it's not one of the highest priced quarters out there, its large date and D mint mark combination make it a sought-after piece for collectors, especially those trying to complete a Washington quarter series. But that's not the end of the story. If you happen to find this coin in higher grades, like uncirculated or proof condition, you could see a substantial increase in value. Coins in pristine condition can go for $10 or more, especially if they're well preserved. At auctions, this quarter can fetch a little more than its average market value. In a competitive bidding environment, especially among seasoned collectors, this 1991 large date quarter could go for $10 to $20 or even more, depending on the demand and the quality of the coin. If you've got a 1991 Washington quarter in extra fine condition, it's a good idea to keep it protected. Consider using a protective coin holder or even getting it slabbed by a professional grading service. This helps preserve the coin's details and ensures it remains in top condition for years to come, which is key if you're looking to hold onto it as a potential investment. The 1991 Washington quarter may not be the flashiest coin in the series, but it's definitely one that holds a unique charm for collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, this large date variety with the D mint mark is a fantastic addition to any collection. To wrap up, the 1991 Washington quarter with the large date and D mint mark in extra fine condition has a solid value of around $35 to $40 in the current market. While it's not going to make you rich, it's a piece that adds diversity and value to your collection. And if you're lucky enough to find one in higher grades, the value could go up significantly. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, tricks, and insights into rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1991 Washington quarter in your collection, or if you're looking for other coins with great investment potential. We'd love to hear from you.